Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy, and today I'm starting a 16-inch cradled wood board. I'm going to do a geode. I'm showing you all these things, but I sped this way up. So what you see me doing first is getting my fiberglass down. Normally it is not recommended necessarily to lay down resin first because then you can't really be flexible with where you put your glass. But I put some red diamonds down from Colourarte or Abalone Shell. I can't remember which ones. Because I realized that reflective, sparkly color or phenomenon, sorry, my brain's pretty fried, would reflect a little bit through the fiberglass. But then I didn't really so much like where I put the glass, and I was kind of committed. So, maybe do the simpler thing. I apparently have trouble with doing the simple things. So what I like to do sometimes is put it down, get some resin on it, and let it kind of set overnight, and then come back and do my other layers. That's if I care about it getting color underneath it. So the larger glass was fire glass from Celestial Fire Glass, I think. And then the smaller gold mirror pieces are from Michaels. They're Ashland. And they're the more irregular kind of chunky cut. I don't like the smaller. So anyway, I'm just putting some resin on, trying to secure them. And what I do when I come in and do the other layers is I drizzle a little resin just to make sure that it's there. So this is the next day. Just now I'm going to show you the colors I plan to use. That's Mehron Gold. That's going to be my more floating gold pigment that I'll use. I am using Color Passion Aubergine, which is a paste. And I am using Sangria. Oh wait, that's Aubergine, sorry. And I use Stonecoat Art Coat in this piece. I used White Album, which is like just a white tint, base tint from Faux Rizzle. I have the black and the white and a tan color. Now this color is from Rezinarte by Colourarte, and it's Sangria, and it is flipping gorgeous. Like you're not even going to be able to see how gorgeous until you see the close-up. I also really like this Oyster Interference. It's like a pearl color from Colourarte. You can use it in any of the Bling It line. You can use in resin or in acrylic. And I really like having a nice pearl color. And this is Red Diamond. So this is also Bling It. Also can be used in acrylic and in resin. I love these. I've been using them in almost every geode I've been working on. So what they are is they're interference colors from Colourarte. Like this next one is just regular interference gold. So you can see how that's more of a pearly satin color. But the diamonds are huge particulates, and they're so supposed to. Okay, so first up is the Mehron Gold. Sorry, my dog is walking naturally because I'm trying to record. And one thing to note about a floating pigment like Mehron Gold is a little goes a long, long way, and I always use way too much pigment. I'm trying to get my dog to lay down. She's not feeling like that. So that's one of the things I'm learning in my journey is don't overdo it, because the cool thing about a floating pigment is how it interacts when you heat it up with other resin around it. And if it's too thick, it doesn't really react as much. And so anyway, so I sped this way up just because obviously there's a lot of steps to this process. So sorry, I asked Chloe to lay down. She grumbled, but she did. So hopefully she'll stay put for a little bit. So this is the white. Now what I didn't notice until later on is that there were some resin drips on the bottom of my board that were making this unlevel. And you may be able to see it as you're watching this. But the resin starts to kind of pull to the left side, your left as you're looking at this. And it creates some weird effects in the middle. Like I can almost see it happening now as I'm editing this video. And so this is the aubergine, by the way, from Color Passion. I got this on Etsy. You can also get Color Passion pigments from Artist Till Death. They didn't have this one, but they do sell Color Passion and a lot of other resin stuff. So good resource. But I'll list the Etsy shop I got it from as well. Anyway, this is the Oyster Interference. So if you look to the left, you can see where the resin is sort of dripping off my board. This is a time where kind of having a tape dam around the edges is helpful. This is the Sangria, but I didn't have the tape dam because this was such a big board. I was afraid to use too much resin and have it start swimming around. But the fact that it wasn't quite level definitely pulled my design a little bit. And I didn't really notice until I think that's the red diamond that I just laid down, until I went to move it to let it dry, and it was all starting to shift, and I was like, what is happening? Now, I added I think that's aubergine or Sangria. I added it because I had left over there, but sometimes when you add really thin lines on a geode and too many of them, it can get kind of busy. So I started to realize that was happening, and I added some more of the Mehron Gold, which ends up working out really nicely. But sometimes I have like this compulsive need to use up my resin, and I'm like, oh, I just have a little bit left. Where can I put it? And I have to fight that urge, because then I end up making it too busy and using too much resin on a piece. So anyway, I'm just walking you through some of my thought process. I think that's more of the red diamonds. I love these diamond pigments. If you go to the Colourarte website, of course, there's a 20% discount for anything on the Colourarte website using Mandy1120, and the link is below, the discounts below in the description box. But if you go to the Bling It section, this is one of the relatively new sets, and I think they're so much fun to use in geodes because they're so sparkly. I also was playing around earlier today, and I used Shooting Star, I think is what it's called. It's also part of the Bling It line, and it's so sparkly. So, you know, I love the versatility of the Bling It from Colourarte, because you can use it in resin or acrylic, and it's gonna give you a completely different look. But they're so much fun. So don't forget to check those out if you ever go to the website. So at this point, you can start to see the resin interact with the colors around it, mostly because it's pulling. And if you look in the center where those where the fire glass and stuff is, you can see that that white is pulling to the left. I was too busy adding things, so I didn't see that until I started to put things away, and then I was like, what happened? At first I thought it was just reacting, and then I was like, no, it's pulling. So, and now you can totally see it if you're just chilling here watching the video. There's a whole bunch of resin over there on the left. So at first I was like super bummed when I realized, oh my gosh, it's not level. It's been shifting. And then I was like, but it created some really cool lines. And so in my mind, I was like, I'll try to fix it when I do my marker lines and all that. And so I'm going to show you a close-up in a second where you can see kind of what it looks like in this first stage. And then I have this really beautiful gold called Millionaire, and I get it from Lily's Glitter Shop, and it is just the prettiest gold. So I end up actually putting a couple of wider gold, like kind of stripes, and then just some kind of cleaner paint pen lines. And at first I tried to kind of fix that weird white shifting part, and everything I did just made it look worse. So you'll see in the upcoming steps, because I did try to record that. So here, all you see me doing is taking some of my leftover resin and sprinkling it over that fire glass to make sure that my glass is all sticking to some kind of resin. And you don't have to like flood it. So here's a close-up. So you can see what's really cool about Mehron Gold is when the lines are really thin, it looks really elegant the way it reacts to other stuff. But look at that sangria. You just can't even begin to capture how beautiful that is. So you can see right there, you see where that white is like, well, that's because it's pulling and you can see all that resin off to the side. Hey everyone, I sped this up a lot. So that is the glitter I'm going to use. This is from Lily's Glitter Shop and it's Millionaire. And because it was a little bit chunky, I put it in a little sandwich bag and I cut the edge off. Because I kind of wanted a wide line too, just because I had some places where after this shifted as it was drying, I was like, whoa, it's messy looking. So I wanted to kind of take a wider line and kind of draw some attention away from some of those places. And I thought about adding more, but then I realized there's already a lot of lines from the layers of color and I didn't want it to be too busy. So I just decided to add these two, which looks a little blurry from here, but they end up being a nice accent. Hey everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to talk through something real quick and then I'll voice over. So yesterday I put these glitter lines on because I didn't realize that this was not level when I was making it and when I moved it, and so a lot of this shifted and it's still really pretty, but I wanted to kind of use glitter to kind of maybe balance it out. So I thought I only had a little bit of glitter left when I was working on that yesterday, and so I had every intention of coming back here today and adding like maybe a vein of the glitter line. Like I kind of thought about coming across here and doing it again, or even right here, which wouldn't be bad right here. And I still might do that, but when I thought about coming across right here, I really kind of like the way this looks because it's kind of blending really beautifully. So I'm kind of leaning toward not doing that. However, if I have some leftover resin, I may still decide to do that. And if I do, I think if anything, I'll basically connect this and come across right here. I also thought about doing something similar over here, but because it's so close to the top, I think it would make it a little too busy. So I'm just externally processing. Like one of the things I'm learning is, sometimes less is more. And so I sometimes need to like flesh it out. So I'm doing that with you guys. So it is possible that I'll bring another line right here and just follow this line, but it's also going to bring it really close to the crystals. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take my Posca and Craft Smart paint pens and I'm going to just add some detail. Obviously this part right here shifted a lot and created some weird lines here. So I think I'm basically going to take some gold and just kind of basically draw attention away from this part and do the same right here. And then I'll probably, where a lot of this has shifted, maybe take either the cream color one or the gold one and just add some minor detail and then kind of see what we think. I do have some glitter glass that I got that I thought about putting on some small details or just sprinkling over the top of this. So those are kind of the things I'm thinking of. I just wanted to explain them because I'm gonna hyperlapse some of this. Okay, I'll bring you down and we'll get going. Hey everyone, so I sped this way up on this part because I erased these lines like a million times. I started in the middle trying to kind of distract from that part of the white that's slanted, and it drew more attention and made it look busy. So I end up kind of just kind of almost doing like a little crisscross gold line. And then I was like, should I add more stuff. And I was like, you know, it's already kind of busy. So I think less is more in this case. So it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but I kind of just went from one side and down through the other. And then I left it at that because obviously there was already a lot of detail in the resin lines. So I sped this up like, I don't know, 10 times. This is where I land right there. But I sped this up because, I mean, how boring is it to watch me erase things over and over and over again? So this is kind of where we land. I did, you can see me trying to figure out, do I want to go up there? Do I not? And I drew a line in there and then I erased it. So, yeah. Thought I was recording the close-up and I wasn't. So I was tempted to add a line right here, but I thought it was going to be too busy. And plus, I think the effect of where it's blending together looks really cool. Down here, because of the way things shifted as they dried, it kind of already has lines. So there's already a lot of detail. So I think over marking it up would be too much. So what I did is I of course erased everything like 80,000 times, but I did this like kind of a forked line here and then down here. And what I wanted to cover up was kind of how this all shifted and got these sharp edges. But every time I drew around this, it looked too busy. So I was also tempted to do something else up here. But we already have a glitter line here. Everything up here is too scoopy, so anything else that we do would almost be too much. So this one line, I think, just adds just the right amount of interest. We still have our glitter lines. That Millionaire glitter from Lily's Glitter Shop is probably one of my favorite golds for glitter anyway. And then up here, I kind of messed this up to use up the rest of my epoxy in the first layer, but now it kind of looks like we did it on purpose. So I think I'm gonna take some less is more lessons. So once these dry, which I'm not sure how long that takes, I'm gonna do a flood coat of epoxy. All of these are secure. I may sprinkle some glitter glass for some added shimmer, but I don't think I'm gonna put it anywhere here. So it's gonna mostly look like this, and then I'll send you guys, or I'll show you guys a close-up when it's the flood coat's on and I take the edges off, so that way you can see it. So anyway, thanks for enduring my process. I'm gonna show you up close. Look at that red sparkle, it's so cool. And Sangria is a gorgeous color. So this one's a fun one. I love all the bling. Mehron Gold is a really nice floating pigment. I really like the way this looks. That's cool. Every once in a while I'm tempted to go and put down lines with like not hot glue, but like either Elmer's glue or Pebos or Relief to separate so that I can have clean lines. And sometimes I might do that, but I also like the effects when the colors meet sometimes. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back with the final result. All right, everybody. So this thing is kind of big. So here's my close-up. It is resined. It has a flood coat. It has the tape off the sides. I did not anticipate that the resin would bleed under the tape, but sometimes wood, especially when it's not super smooth, doesn't get the greatest tape fix. So I can't decide if I'm going to just leave that or try to paint it white. Y'all let me know what you think, but let me show you up close. Even though this is not perfect, I'm really proud of this little guy. Well, big guy. This one's a 16-inch round. And it should be on my Etsy shop soon, unless someone claims it. But I just love, for one, Sangria from Colourarte is incredible. I mean, look at that. And I love how the little shadows of other colors peek through. And look at that red diamonds over the other colors. Sorry, I'm like starstruck over here by color. And then I love how nicely this aubergine pigment paste goes with this. So we have kind of a flat color in the midst of everything. I thought about adding some glitter glass, but I was like, okay, like relax, you know, because it just, oh my gosh, I love working on these so much. And I tend to complicate things. You guys know me if you follow my channel. Like, could I do it simpler? Sure. Do I? Apparently not. But even though this shifted and all that stuff, and I had composition challenges because of my surface not being even, I really think she's pretty. So I would love to know what you guys think. Like, leave the sides. You're probably not going to tell me in time, but I'd like to know your opinion. Leave the sides, paint the sides white. If I stain them with a wood stain, I want to make sure it's nice looking. My concern with the white is that color will show through and it'll be more obvious than it is right now. But anyway, so this is a 16-inch cradled wood board from Lolivefe. It has a way to hang it. So it'll be on my Etsy shop, but obviously you can always let me know if you're interested. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for joining me with all of these experiments. I'm on a major geode kick right now, so it's probably not going away. I'm working on several of them right now. So anyway, it's super therapeutic for my brain. And sometimes I work on them while I'm working on homework and listening to lectures and stuff, and it helps me pay attention, if you can believe that. So anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all your support.